Hi, I'm Kevin. Today I've been out having a bit of an adventure, if you like, on Honda's new Crosstourer, which is their word for the VFR1200X. They've taken the 1237cc liquid-cooled V4 out of their VFR Tourer and put it into not really an adventure bike, more the sort of soft roader of the motorcycle world. Now, as the styling cue of that peculiar front headlight gives it away, it does share an awful lot with the VFR 1200. It still puts out 127 horsepower and 126 newton meters of torque. So although this big girl weighs 275 kilos ringing wet full of fuel, it is a very capable soft off-road or a spectacular touring motorcycle. Now, our particular test bike came equipped with the genuine Honda Accessory Luggage. It's about $3,500 for the twin panniers, about $1,900 for the top box. Very classy and very easy to remove, giving you an unobstructed view of one of the nicer looking back wheels. It's the spoke look, but it runs tubeless, so the spokes are outside the bead. It gives it a nice tough adventure look. The suspension is a little bit on the soft side, so you're not going to really be taking on the Dakar, although that engine would be more than willing. The exhaust pipe is one of the things I didn't really learn to love about the VFR. This is a much tidier unit, a little bit smaller, a little bit stylier, and although it does get in the way of the single-sided wheel, which I kind of like the look of, it does look pretty smart. And if, like most motorcyclists, you don't want your bike to look like it's under construction or it's got a stepladder strapped to the side just to hold your luggage, all these bits have got the gussets and the holes already built in that it attaches to, so if you've got a Crosstourer or a VFR, it's ready to go with the Honda Luggage. Really smart, really tidy, I like it. Now, Honda have headed off on their own tangent, well, as far as the adventure class goes, and they don't have a two-piece seat. This is a single piece, so it's not height adjustable. Most of the others have two separate seats, and the rider section can go up or down depending on leg height. This is fairly low, so it's not going to really affect the shorter amongst you. The only downside really is that it is a little bit more cramped than some of the other competitors' bikes. You sit in it more than on top of it, so it's definitely much more of a tourer than it is an adventurer. Now, the guys and girls at Blue Wing Honda have obviously worked out that I'm an absolute girl's blouse when it comes to the cold, so they've fitted the aftermarket heated grips to this. Easy to use, 3 stages, they heat virtually instantly. Now, they're clean, they're tidy, they're easy to use. Press a button with your left thumb, 15-20 seconds later you can feel the heat coming through your gloves. And for those skeptics who don't think you need heated grips, that's probably because you haven't tried them. Even if your gloves get wet, at least they're in a nice little spa pool, warm water, nice, rather than freezing. The dash on the Crosstourer is all new. It's got an LCD bar type rev counter going across the top, which is a little bit on the small side for me, but at 7,750 RPM it makes its maximum horsepower, so it's not overly revvy. You don't really need to watch the clocks. One of the nice things about it though, if you're a fan of night riding like I am, is it's totally dimmable, so you don't have this bright dash dazzling as you peel through the night. It's a really nice touch. Now, this thing also comes with traction control. On top of the fairing on the left hand side there's a button. You can turn it off if you like. It's also got linked ABS brakes, so when you use that rear brake pedal it employs one front disc and the back. Handy for touring, not so handy off-road or on gravel, but you just ride with that. The brakes are quite powerful, they're fade free. We've got the slightly taller screen fitted. As it sits, it's a nice road bike. Its handling's pretty good. The long travel suspension makes it seesaw a wee bit if you start pushing hard, but its handling's fine. You can get your pegs to scrape along the tarmac if you want to. It eats miles, and the pillion is not going to stop you after 150 k's or so. Nice and comfy, relaxed ergonomics. It's the sort of thing you could get on at the top of the country, fill it up a couple of times, get off at the other end. So where does Honda's VFR1200X or Crosstourer fit in? Makes its own little way. It's not a hard-edged adventure bike, and it's not quite your traditional tourer. It's somewhere in between, so it's starting its own little trail. It does it quite well. It's got longish travel suspension. It doesn't have the electronically controlled versions like some of the others. It's a little bit too soft for going seriously off-road, so you're not going to hit the dunes. What it does is it gives you a nice sit-up ride. It's syrupy smooth. If you put someone on the back, you hardly notice them. Shaft drive, ABS, link brakes. This is your back road tourer. And New Zealand's got so many roads that are suited to this that it's not funny. If you want the optional extras like the luggage, well and good. But as it is, at $27,995, it's not a cheap motorcycle, but it is a very well built one. And I think it does have a place in the New Zealand motorcycle market.